Hey guys, welcome to week 12. So now we are going to get started in writing that final literature review paper. So this is the week where you are going to submit your draft of the literature review paper. It says a draft, but it needs to be in a very much finalized stage or actually have a structure to it. So let me show you what all do you have in this folder, and I am going to put this watch me first right at the very top of it. So I am going to mark things out. So the first thing, you have a literature review format. This is a format in a Word document that you can download and you can start putting things within it. Be careful about the APA headings and all of those things. I've tried to do some of those. I've tried to do the font for you and all those things. But this is the literature review format. This is the rubric that you are going to be following. It's the draft of the literature review rubric. I've also put the final one for you guys to see what your final paper would look like. But the one that you're actually going to be graded is this one, the draft of the literature review. And here is the drop box of it. To help you guys, what I have done is I have created a folder that has literature review examples that I had shown you the last time, and here are the literature review examples. I have put 3 examples, and I know you are maybe wondering about these numbers. I have a few examples, and I tend to put the examples that do not relate to any one of yours topics so that you can have an idea of what it looks like. So here are your 3 literature review examples. We had looked at each one of them in our last class, and we had talked about good things and not so good things about them. And so that is the same thing we will be doing in the March 30th class. We will also be talking a little bit more about the literature review paper in the March 30th class. So if you did not attend the last class, to get the points for the Zoom class, you have to attend March 30th. And anybody can attend it. If you want to come in and just sit and listen up, you are more than welcome to. So here is your literature review examples. What I also did was I moved the research and writing resource doc folder that was on the top of the page, D2L over here, where you have the 100 words to avoid, common errors, weak and wordy sentence openers, and then links to how to access the library database, to get articles, and then the APA online guide. So these are your resources that you have. Let us look at the draft of the literature review. When you look at the draft of the literature review, this is for your introduction. So your introduction would be revised and you'll get more feedback on it. This is about your literature review. So here is all about your literature review, is talking about transitions between things, about having at least 10 primary resources, relying on primary peer-reviewed resources, which is journal articles, and then critically analyzing it. If you have big paragraphs in which you're only talking about things from one article, about like what these authors from this article say, then this is a summary of those. This is not about the summary. It needs to talk about, oh, manipulatives are good for math understanding. Gupta says this, Jasmine says this, Shirley says this, Lauren says this, Kira says this, all of those things, right? So you need to think about it. Look at your outlines. Your outlines will really help you develop the literature review because you're putting in information within those outlines. Next is about the grammar aspect of it, which goes back to fragmented sentences and all of those things. And then here is about the APA. You have one APA for your reference list, you have an APA for in-text, and then you have reference citations. Every citation that you have in the text need to match with your reference list, and everything that you have in the reference list needs to match with your text. If there is even one mismatch, this is where it ends up being, and this is there in the final paper too. So I want you guys to already get into that habit of doing it right now. So this is about your rubric, the draft, and this is for 30 points. I added 2 things. as we were going on, as I was like, we really want you guys to work on this aspect of it. So all of this is there in this folder with your format, the rubric for the draft, the final draft, the examples, the sources, the Dropbox, and the class link. I will see you guys on March the 30th, and it would be from 5 to 6 p.m. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.